Welcome, Libra. This is your monthly focus for March 2023. And what a month do we have! Everything changes, everything moves. In fact, Mercury even moves twice. Okay, so it's just, you'll look back a month from now, you won't even recognize a lot of this stuff because everything has changed so much. Your focus, your energy, your direction. Absolutely. It all starts on March the 2nd. Mercury will enter Pisces. Okay, for you, that's your sixth house. So you may be talking about learning, thinking about ways to expand your health, your well being. Maybe it's joining a gym. Maybe it's, well, it could be 1,001 things, couldn't it? But when you are looking at your health and well being, it could be your job too. You could be looking at your job, or the mundane in your life, the day to day, the job, so to speak, not the career, not the passion, not the desire, but, the job, the day in, day out kind of stuff. And really approach it with a very creative energy, a very imaginative energy, okay, from the heart. Allow the magic to flow through it. On the 7th, Saturn enters Pisces. Kind of a big deal because it takes 3 years to change a sign. So it'll be in your sixth house for the next 3 years. And this is where, you're going to really build some structure here. You could teach health and well-being. You could be writing a book about it. You could be joining different groups, maybe a gym, maybe a biking club, maybe a hiking club, whatever it might be. But over the next 3 years, you will be looking at your health and well-being, and it'll be a priority in your life. You'll build structure around you'll be strategizing how to live a healthy lifestyle, a strong, and long-lived healthy lifestyle. Okay, so it's really a beautiful gift to get, and you'll have this for the next 3 years of your life. Now, on a bigger note, though, okay, because here we go. We're thinking about how we want to get in shape or how we want to be more mindful of our time or our energy or our resources, our spirituality, our health and well-being. And so we're growing our thoughts with Mercury and Pisces, okay? But Saturn comes in and says, okay, so if you want that to happen, and it could be just as much as a fantasy for you right now, like there's no way that's going to happen kind of picture in your mind. And that's okay to have that kind of picture. In fact, I'm promoting you having that kind of picture in your mind, like that'd be the day. Because Saturn comes in and says, if you want it, we'll do it. We'll strategize. We'll make a plan. We'll make it happen for you. So for everybody, we're being this beautiful gift of manifestation in our life. Over the first couple of weeks, it starts, well, it already has started, but there's a highlighted area for that. But it does continue on. Okay, for the next 3 years, this kind of magic in your life. Now, on the 7th as well, we will have the full moon in Virgo. For you, that's the 12th month. Okay, so whenever there's a full moon in Virgo for you, it's kind of like that 6 month mark, right? You had a birthday about 6 months ago. You'll have a birthday in about 6 months, and you've come about halfway. And so now's the time to reflect on you and your goals and your dreams and your desires and what you set out to do and how far you've accomplished, what you didn't, why you lost focus, how you can regain focus. Do you want to regain focus? Do you want to wipe that out? Do you want to pencil this in? This is the time to look at how you are going to spend your next 6 months until your birthday of new beginnings and new starts. Now, I went to several astrologers and I Googled it, and nobody's really talking about this, and I think it's kind of huge. So I'm putting this in here. Okay, but Jupiter conjuncts Chiron on the 17th. And I thought, that doesn't happen like every day. That's got to be like a 10 or 12 year progression. And I could be absolutely wrong on that, but that's what I'm thinking it is. And when Jupiter gets together with Chiron, it's about great healing. Now, it could be through philosophy that you seek the healing, or it could be spiritual. It could be a combination of that, but that's probably the way to bring in that kind of healing. For you, it's about relationships. There's something about a past relationship in your life that has not allowed you to love in the way that you used to love. And so this is a time to really look at that hurt and understand that wall that is still present in your life, not allowing you to embrace love and passion in the way that you once did in your life. And you could be in a very loving, beautiful relationship and you can be giving your heart, but you know that there's that part of yourself that you will always hold back because of that one person in your life. That relationship that you had. It could have been with a friend, a peer, a parent, a child, a lover. Okay, but you built walls to protect yourself and those walls are still present and maybe you're not even aware of it. Okay, it's a time to decide what serves you in your life and what you want to keep and what you want to rid yourself of. And it's a beautiful time to let that energy in. Now, on March the 16th, Venus enters Taurus. For you, well, this is your transformation. This is wanting to create the beauty, wanting to create the love, wanting to create the passion. This is also wanting to create finances in some way for yourself. So growing the amount of money that you're bringing in, and I won't say more to that because it seems like you know what tools can be used for this in some way. So Venus entering Taurus, it definitely could be about your money, okay, and growing your money, but it's also about creating beauty in your life. And these things could just happen out of seemingly nowhere, right? Because if Venus is in Taurus, we know at some point or another it's going to be talking to Uranus, right? And that just means that things can change on a dime. So it's the expectation that we need in our lives for the month of March. Then Mercury leaves Pisces, goes into Aries on the 19th, and we become a little bit more direct, a little bit more like the pioneer. And we have expression in our voice with more passion than usual. Absolutely. Now, this is also in your 7th house, so it is all about relationships. So you may be declaring things. You may be talking a lot about the relationships, the dynamics of the relationship, what can improve, what needs to change. Okay, now know that you'll probably be a little bit more restless, a little bit more impatient. Okay, so pull it back a notch or two. You just don't want to just jump out because this is the energy that you're feeling. Okay, so it's automatically going to move you into these scenarios. So it's how you control that scenario. What words you use, what actions you use, and when, and how, and why. But it's a time when you'll be able to say exactly what you think and what you feel and getting things out in the open, which can only create a healthier, more trusting relationship if done properly. On the 20th, the sun moves in, so here comes the sun to shine in there on your relationships. But it's also about creating beauty. It's also a time when you're going to be looking at what compromises you need to make in your life. And making sure that it's a win-win situation, that you're not giving a part of yourself away in the process. Agreeing with something just to have the harmony, okay? And selling yourself short in some way. So also, when the sun moves into Aries, it's the brand new astrological year. It is the beginnings. It is the new starts. It is the time to reinvent yourself. So it's about getting excited about new paths forward and reinventing yourself, your path forward. This could be very much in relationships, absolutely. Adding a new spark, meeting the person of your dreams. On March the 23rd, it doesn't end there. On March the 23rd, Pluto moves into Aquarius. For you, that'll be your fifth house. Oh, so this has got to be a cool experience. I'm sorry. But it might be a little hard at the beginning, but it's a beautiful place to be because Pluto is your power. How you derive power, how you keep power, how you are empowered. Okay, and for you, it'll be moving into your fifth house. Now, it's only going to be there a couple of months. Then it shoots on back into Capricorn, finishes all those chapters in our lives that Pluto was so involved with, and then comes back and you spend like the next couple of decades doing this, okay? And I kid you not, your passion, your strength, your determination, your strength, your power comes from having joy and laughter and giggles in your life on a daily basis, on a consistent basis. So what you do has to bring in joy. It has to bring in happiness. It has to bring in giggles in order to even motivate you to go forward in that direction. Okay, so it's going to be a change of breaking old habits and patterns so that you can experience joy each and every day in your life in some way, in some form, to make it a mandatory thing. It could also be about letting your creativity flow, breaking through that glass ceiling, and really letting your self-expression out in some way. And no, we're not done because, well, the new moon is in Aries right after that. Pluto is after, actually. It's the 20th, the sun moves into Aries. The 21st, we have the new moon because you know how for the last 4 or 5 months now, the full moons have been at 16 degrees, which this one in Virgo is as well. So it's about awakenings. But the new moons have all been at 1 degrees, which is very strange that it would be constantly happening at those points. So they're very pivotal points in the sky. So it doesn't, it's like it's the moon shows up at Aries' door and says, let me in. And it can't get all the way in because the sun's in the way. So it gets at 0 degrees and 48 minutes for the new moon. I kid you not. So talk about new paths opening up, new opportunities, new relationships, bold and exciting and maybe even spontaneous new beginnings for each and every one of us in some way in our life, okay? And know that with you, it has a lot to do with your relationships. It has a lot to do with you creating harmony and beauty in your life. On March the 25th, Mars says, if everybody else moved, I get to move too, and moves into Cancer. Now, Mars has been in Gemini, which was your 9th house. Yeah? Oh, so this is nice. But Mars moving into was in your 9th house since September. Very long length of time it's been there because of the retrograde. So it's finally leaving Gemini and it's going into Cancer. Okay, so you might, well, we won't go backwards, we'll just go forwards. This really opens up a window to your career and going forward in your career. Now, Mars in this energy doesn't really move directly. Okay, it's not a direct line. It's more of a passive approach to whatever happens. So know that in some way when it comes to your career or your stature in the community or the home or the workplace or whatever, but your career, okay, will expand. And you'll put in the effort and you'll put in the work, but it'll passively expand. It won't be like you have the interview and then 3 days later they tell you got the job. It's almost like a work up through, like what you do actually leads the way into the big party, the big celebration at the end. Okay, so it's really moving forward in your career, but it's more of a passive approach rather than something that's just boom, it's happening for you. Okay, Let's get to the cards, shall we? I need a sip of water. Okay. Now for our shadow card, we'll grab two here. And the first one is, look at this, the worry, the concern, the anxiety. Okay, so you're going to have all these little worries and concerns and anxieties throughout the entire month for the looks of things. It's about you control the thought, you control the energy, and so you need to. Let's see what's driving it. The Page of Swords. So it's, you know what the anxieties come from? It comes from you rushing into things, doing things, and then going, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Why did I do that? I shouldn't have said that, or I should have said that, or I should have done that. It's second guessing yourself. Stop second guessing yourself. Follow your intuition. Okay? Your first decision, your first thought is usually the right thought. Okay? 9 times out of 10, it's the right thought. And once you start utilizing that, it becomes 10 out of 10 more times than not. So it's about not letting those, it's about thinking through your actions. And it's not about holding it back and holding it back and holding it back and thinking it through some more and sitting on that fence. It's not what I mean at all. But don't have the idea and rush into it. Give yourself at least a 24-hour window, okay? A 24-hour window to say, do I really want to do this, yes or no? Do I really want to say this, yes or no? Okay, you're in a heated argument at work. Pull it back for a second. Think about what you really want to say. Okay, actually silence gives the illusion that you are winning. Okay, I'll just let you in on that one, right? And when you just want to like blast them, just pull it back a little bit. Okay, your silence is precious because subconsciously they start to think you're winning. Anyways, our first card is the Page of Cups. This is dreaming of new possibilities. This is breaking the glass ceiling into what could be in your life if it showed up, if you worked for it, if you put your focus in that direction. The King of Swords. But once you see the direction, you get very determined. You get super focused, perhaps, on what you need to do in order to move forward. And you're willing to build your own path. So maybe whatever you want to do doesn't even really exist, and you kind of have to create it in some way in order for you to walk forward. But don't worry, because you have the intent, you have the perseverance, you have the self-discipline, because it's all wrapped up in this card. So even if those traits aren't normally yours, they will be if you attach yourself to the energy. Absolutely. And then we have the Three of Cups. So this is about joy, celebration, good news, success. Okay, so it's all about happiness and joy and giggles and laughters and celebration and fun. And this is definitely Pluto coming in. And trust me, Pluto will not take bad negative energy. It'll be like, out with it. No, it goes. I don't care who it is or what it is or why it is. It can't be in our life. Because it's not bringing in the joy. It's taking away our power. It's not allowing us to go forward with the strength we could go forward in. This is about happiness, celebration, laughter, joy. Work and career. Now, I'm going to tell you right off the bat that you're not getting fired, you're not losing your job. Well, you could, but chances are that does not mean what this card means. I'm doing a very collective reading here. It's not a personal reading. So this is about something in your work life that actually holds you back from moving forward completely in the way you want. There's some kind of healing. There's some kind of wall up. There's some kind of invisible line that you feel that you can't cross, or something that you can't do, or maybe you're holding back in some way because of a past trauma in the workforce that has always haunted you. That's always told you you're like this, and don't let other people know you're like that, because they won't like you if you're like that. So And meanwhile, it's who you are, and my gosh, they're going to embrace you. But it's allowing that healing to happen in your life. So if you are meditating, if you are praying, if you are sitting in quiet contemplation, then review some of your past work history and some of the times when you found that a statement or an accusation or a situation, an event changed your way that you approached the workforce going forward, or the job going forward, or who you are as a person in the workforce going forward, and allow some kind of healing to come out of this. Now, this could be stature in the community as well. This could be stature within the home and family, stature within the work community. So where has something happened where you've pulled yourself back in some way and not allowed yourself to take those steps forward again? Because you need to take those steps forward, you need to heal and understand, because you have the knowledge now to go forward. Relationships. Oh gosh, we got the 10 of Wands for the relationships. There's a lot of extra baggage in these relationships of yours, I tell ya. Maybe you're taking too much of past relationships with you. Okay, and if you are in a newer relationship, then maybe you need to understand some of those things that you do need to take forward with you, some wisdoms and some truths and some values, but other things can kind of go by the wayside. Okay? So here we're trying to walk forward with the strength, and we can't do that because our weight, our burden is too much. We need to lay down those wands, and we need to decide which of them have growth and which of them are deadwood, and leave the deadwood behind. This could be a person in your life that constantly leans on you and actually puts friction within the relationship because of this person that leans on you, but you feel indebted to them for some reason, and allowing, maybe a little bit of healing, but maybe more of a letting go and saying, the best thing I can do for you is make you stand on your own 2 feet. So good luck with that, and pray for them and send them good energy. Or maybe you have to be there. Maybe the friction needs to be worked out between you and your partner more than you and that person. And so they have to understand where you're coming from and why you're doing what you're doing, and accept it, and not only accept it, but to support you. As far as new relationships are concerned, I wouldn't really see new relationships here through this card, unless it would bring a lot of baggage with it. Okay, that person would bring a lot of baggage with them. I see it more of understanding what you want in a person and what you want in a relationship before really going out there, because you're more apt to find somebody with the true energy that you are looking for if you are already at that energy. For spirituality, the 5 of Swords. I almost get this, like you have to open up to what other people are saying, even when you don't agree with them. And they may be wrong at the end of the day. Don't get me wrong by saying that you're, but I think that you have to watch your reaction and how guarded you are with your position and your stance, and take a softer approach, perhaps, to people, to situations. And maybe it's to yourself. Maybe you're pushing yourself to try and be above everybody, and of course that's not the way to go, because nobody is above anybody else, truly. Okay, we're all the same. Doesn't matter what we do. Some of us have more money coming in, some of us have more love coming in, some of us, it varies on each and every one of us where our true abundance lies. But that doesn't make them better or worse. Okay, and that doesn't put you above. So stop thinking about maybe you're climbing the corporate ladder, okay? So you are thinking that you got to climb over these people in order to get there. So you're counting heads all the time. It's not about counting heads. It's about showing up and showing who you are, okay? That's the measuring tape. And how good you are and what you can do, your best. Not what somebody else's best is, what your best is. And bringing that to the table. Making that the priority. Health and well-being. Oh, there's all kinds of things that you are going to find out there in the world. Oh my gosh. There's a plethora. There's an abundance of things that you will learn over the next 2 decades of your life when it comes to health, when it comes to well-being. We have the 8 of Wands, okay? So this is about the horizon expanding, for the opportunities to be plentiful. And it's not about the going from point A to point B, but it's the journey that matters more than anything else. And to be open to new opportunities and new ways of living a healthy, wealthy lifestyle. We will get Nature's Whispers. I should know that. Okay. Oh, come on. Be in service, 41. Be in service. So 41 is a 5 energy. You know, and you might find that when I was talking about Pluto and your powerhouse and your empowerment through happiness and joy and giggles and laughter, we could get so much of that from being of service to another, or growing a service of some kind to the world or to people. Okay? So be in service. Now we will get the page, and then I will let you meditate for the next 5 or 10 seconds on it while I read the short passage here. Give back to the world. When we give in equal proportion to that which we receive, we are able to maintain balance. There are so many people who are in need of your services. Being in service can be as simple as a kind word, holding a door open, joining in a cleanup effort. Look to nature and its ability to support according to what is needed at the time. Your efforts in supporting others around you will help you create the energy needed to support humanity. Until we meet again, remember, I do love you.